Hey, welcome to another Hat Stack Chat, and this time I'm talking all about Sonic Frontiers 2, or whatever the sequel to Sonic Frontiers will be, which supposedly is in development. There's been a lot of talk about that recently, which, totally makes sense because Sonic Frontiers was a huge success and a lot of people really liked it. I liked it a lot myself, and, it has its flaws, I'm not going to deny that. So hopefully they take the base of what is there and just, work on improving it. So for this video, I'll just be talking about what I want from a hypothetical Sonic Frontiers 2. First thing I'll talk about is the aesthetics. They need to make that more Sonic-y, I guess. Not necessarily checkered patterns all over, but, something to make it stand out and look not so generic, because holy crap. Even just increasing the saturation in that, because, everything looks so dull and desaturated, I hate it. I love Sonic Frontiers, and the graphics look nice, but not what I want Sonic to look like. So, yeah, I hope they do something about that. And again, this doesn't have to be like Green Hill or like, Sonic CD surreal environments looking levels or anything like that. I just want it to look, a bit more like Sonic's world. Because the Starfall Islands just don't look appealing. They just look like really generic environments that you could see in any game nowadays. And then there's the cyberspace stages, which, if they have an equivalent for that, I know it's not going to be full-size levels. Giant open worlds plus full-size Sonic levels, I understand that's too much to ask for, at least if we want a Sonic Frontiers 2 anytime soon. So, if they keep the whole bite-sized levels thing going, I hope they at least make it more visually distinct between the levels, because, oh man, as much as I love Green Hill, Chemical Plants, Sky Sanctuary, seeing those again and again in all the cyberspace got so just exhausting. And like, they didn't even have names. It was like, oh, here's 1-2, 3-4, and it's just like, the levels all kind of blurred together for me. At least give them names and maybe make them a little more visually distinct, And the gameplay in the cyberspace stages, or whatever they're going to be called in the sequel if they have them, yeah, they could use some sprucing up too, because, yeah, in Sonic Frontiers, there's this weird pause when you, like, home in on an enemy, and it doesn't do that in the other Sonic games. I don't know why Sonic Frontiers has that, but it ruins the pace so badly, because, there's a lot of homing attacks you do, so just bam, pause, bam, pause, bam, pause, and, so they should totally get rid of that, and I'm not good at explaining this exactly, but the gameplay in the cyberspace stages just feels stiff. They should make it not stiff, because the open world gameplay feels great. If they made the cyberspace stages feel like the open world gameplay and, still kept it confined, that'd be good. I don't know why they decided to make the cyberspace stages, like, the gameplay completely different too. Because, it's, like, trying to turn and the music for the cyberspace stages was kind of all over the place, which I kind of liked. It was stuff I wouldn't expect, and I liked a lot of it, so yeah, you know what, keep the variety. Just keep that unexpected stuff coming. I loved it. And then, yeah, as for the open worlds, I actually really like the open world gameplay, so it's like, fix the jank, obviously, because it is very janky, but, they got the gameplay down right. Sonic feels really good to control in the open worlds, and I hope they just improve upon that, because I really like it. The DLC updates added Spin Dash, which made things so much better, so I hope they keep the Spin Dash just in the game right off the bat, because I love using the Spin Dash in Sonic Frontiers. I liked it before with the boost and everything, but that Spin Dash, I love it. The combat could maybe use some work too. I don't know, I thought the combat in Frontiers was good, but there wasn't really a lot of strategy involved, at least not on my end. I kind of just spammed a lot of the flashy looking moves, and it always worked. There were certain situations where you maybe had to do a side loop to, make the shells go off or something, but there wasn't really a whole lot to it, which was fine. I don't want Sonic combat to be overly complicated, and I'm fine with more button mashy stuff, but I don't know. There's probably interesting things they could do. I'm not a game developer. I don't know what to recommend here, but if they keep the combat, I hope they make things a little more interesting in that regard. And I don't know what the solution to that is. And the same goes for the boss battles. I love the boss battles in Frontiers, but a lot of it just comes down to spamming attacks, and, there's quick time events and some dodges involved, but you know, it's not really too much to it. They can keep that heavy metal music for those boss battles though, because that was just awesome and it made him seem so anime. Actually, yeah, those boss battles in general, you know, Sonic's like deflecting lasers like in Dragon Ball Z and just going through the Titans. I loved it. I love the boss battles. You know, maybe add a little more to the gameplay, but in general, those were great. I really like the story in Sonic Frontiers, and I hope they keep that style of writing, but maybe make the cutscenes a bit more animated, because a lot of them are just them standing there talking. Make them, you know, actually do stuff. But otherwise, I love the story, and I hope they keep with that style. Because, yeah, it wasn't, like, too try-hard serious, you know, like Shadow the Hedgehog, the game. And it wasn't too cartoony and where nothing mattered, like Sonic Colors and stuff. It was kind of just... there were things at stake, and you could take the story seriously, but it wasn't, like, groan-inducing. I liked it. And as for other playable characters, I feel like the DLC 3 from Frontiers was kind of testing the waters in that regard, and it was fun playing as the other characters, but they could all use some work. Amy was probably the most well-rounded. Knuckles, they fixed it, but his gliding felt weird at first. And Tails he just feels weird, like, it takes him a bit to start flying, and I don't know, it didn't feel quite right. So hopefully if there are other playable characters, they kind of work on that, tweak it a bit, because, yeah, if they work on it a bit, I think they could all be a lot of fun to control. So yeah, I think that about wraps up my thoughts on what I want from a Sonic Frontier sequel. I know it's another short video, and I do intend to do more longer podcast videos and maybe get other people on board too, but yeah, for now I just want to get this out. But yeah, I am working on stuff. So thank you for listening, and I hope you all have a hat-stacking good day.